Now, everything we do is attached to our sign-in, so no matter what device we get on, it should show up, right?
Right.
So, we give it to-
I have here. Okay, for the new person, Mr. Luke. Hello. Well, I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm Tyler Colton. I'm the tech facilitator here. I am a Google certified trainer, level 1, level 2, and GEG Louisiana captain and GEG global leader. So I encourage you to join GEG, our GEG Louisiana as well, for extra support. And there was a guy who is from PearDeck. PearDeck hires him, and he did a presentation with GEG Louisiana. So his presentation is there as well if you want to explore beyond my knowledge. Okay. So we're going to start off with Nearpod. This session is about engaging students virtually. So we're going to start off with Nearpod and transition our way into PearDeck. So we are going to go to join.nearpod.com. I'm going to do live participation because we are live. If I want the students to do something on their own time, they're going to do student pace. Okay, this is great. Student pace is great for flipped classrooms, or if you want the kids to do something in small group settings, or even on Fridays for that extra support, we'll do student pace. But for now, we're going to do live participation. And once the Wi-Fi loads up, you are going to go to join.nearpod.com and enter in this class code. You can also send this through a link. Okay, you can post a link in Google Classroom. You can push this activity straight to Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. If you are collaborating with other teachers via Twitter, you can send it to Twitter, Facebook, not Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I do a lot in Twitter. I encourage you to use Twitter, but not with kids, with other teachers if you need a feeling. But the link, my favorite is the link. I love hyperlinks all day. So these are just different ways you can send this information out to your students virtually. So if I'm opening up a Google Meet and I say, hey, I want to do this live instruction, I'll just drop the link in the chat box. Students will click it, and it'll immediately go to this. Or you can just do what I'm doing. Go to join.nearpod.com.
Push the link. Where would it go to? You say drop the link in the
chat box. In Google, you know how we open up Google Meet,
yeah.
and there's the chat box.
Okay.
You can copy the link and put it in the chat box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the second thing is the share symbol, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And my code will always be here. So if there is a student who's coming in late, so will always be in the corner. All right, using Nearpod in the 612 classroom. I can see, if I look to the left, I can see who's in by these little people. Okay? And let's say Miss Harris is cutting up, I can remove her. Clicking this. But I click remove because she's doing other stuff.
If you remove me, I can't. You remove me all together.
I remove you all together out of the Nearpod.
From the end, without, that's what I wanted.
How did you get to that page?
Oh, actually, the people. See the bottom left? See look at my cursor is a planet. I changed my cursor.
And what did you say the code always is?
Top left.
Okay.
So teacher.
You're not gonna see that.
Let's do it. Mm-hmm. And then it'll turn red. Let's say Ms. Washington decides she don't want to be in my lesson no more and she do other stuff. She leaves my lesson. This will turn red.
Oh, that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That means they're leaving the lesson.
Ah, I saw that. I didn't have a pay attention.
Yeah. It just show you red.
And they can leave on that argument, you know. Okay.
the people,
Yeah, if they want to leave on their own, they can do that.
they can.
And it'll turn red.
It'll turn red.
The.
Yes.
that
If the fee is some sort of record time.
At the very end, it'll do a report.
leaving the club.
Okay. Okay, so Nearpod is free for all EBR educators. We are in the premium plan because our district purchased it. With that being said, the district wants us to use it at least once a week. I don't. What they gonna do about it? Okay. So, but I would use the district library because, especially in math, yeah, people have already created lessons. I did not make this. I didn't have time for that. I'm lazy. I always say technology is solves laziness. I did not make this. I found this in the library. So use district library, okay? Bed bar students. Okay, what is your experience with Nearpod? You can go ahead and answer this. It should be on your screen. Let's say that I don't want you guys to feel intimidated. At the bottom right, I'm going to hide your names. If I want this to be anonymous. Yes, sir.
I know how to hide the names,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't think the kids could see that.
If you have it up,
Only if you're displaying and see when I was doing it virtually,
they can
I would look at my computer and then I had the Chromebook. Being a student, I couldn't see so if you're doing it at the board,
Yeah,
they could see.
yeah.
That's
Or if you're sharing the screen in a Google Meet, they can see. But if you're just doing Nearpod virtually, they can't see this. Right? It looks different on a student here. Okay. So you've dabbled, and some people have never heard of it. That's okay. Oh, I'm gonna find it. Little bit. Okay. All right. So we're just gonna talk about basics in the classroom. I'm a touch Nearpod report. I just talked about district expectations, and I talked about the library already. Okay, the basics. When you are a teacher, you're going to log in with Google. Okay, make sure you log in with Google as a teacher. Children will not log in with Google. I'm glad Ms. Brooks did that. When I first had this up, she directly went to her Nearpod. Okay, and then she was like, "How do I get to your presentation?" Because I wanted her to see my presentation as a student. So don't ask your students to go to Nearpod. Tell them go strictly to join.nearpod.com and enter in the code.
Okay,
Now, can I ask you a question now on that? So why is that? Because when I was teaching this summer, I was able to tell them to go to Nearpod.
Right,
I was able to tell them to go to Nearpod and then log in with my code.
right.
So they didn't have to go to Nearpod.some. I just told my kids when I got through my Google Meet for that morning, I would say, now I need all of y'all to go to Nearpod. But I would probably tell them to go to Clever. Because I didn't say that. Okay, so I say go to Clever, go to Nearpod and log in with my code. And then I didn't say join Nearpod dot whatever you just said.
Clever probably worked around.
we're not doing Clever anymore.
Yes, we are.
You can't, before we are doing Clever, I just don't do Clever. I don't like Clever, because I feel
But the
like
kids don't.
They do Clever. That's why they were able to get in without me telling them that.
if you want to use Clever, yeah, do that. If you're used to that.
That's
I
fine.
don't, my kids don't like Clever. It's just up to you. If you're,
Okay,
I'm a rebel, and I don't do things like
okay.
the district doing the thing. You know what? Let me shut up. Do the Clever, because
Okay.
So if a new student that may not have, that came in late or something, then if they can't get in through Clever, then you could tell them join. Okay.
So you're
Maybe
basically
for
just
new
gonna put a
students.
link in your Google Classroom to this?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
I mean, so you don't have to tell us to go to a website, just tell us to click
Look
the
at the
link.
link, right.
Yeah, but they would
It's up to whatever you're comfortable with. I like links too.
You can't just post a link in your Google Classroom and have them to type that link and it'll take them right
Right
there.
there, right.
Okay.
It's up to you. It's your comfort. to get, I usually do join.nearpod.com. I'll tell them this just to stall because you have to take attendance the first 5 minutes. So if they're so busy typing in, I'm able to say, okay, let me take attendance. So, but if they're doing like their own self-paced and I don't want to stall, I can do the link directly. It's just what you want to do. And then of course, Clever, our district body, they want us to use it. So if your the sixth grade babies, I would use Clever because they're so used to that from elementary. Okay, we talked about that. Student pace versus live lesson. We're in live lesson now. Student pace, again, is great if you have small groups. If once we come back face to face, they need that extra support. So instead of like 5 kids in Ms. Washington class, they're not getting it. She needs to move on. She can't stay all day on the same page. So she can set them up a computer with an Nearpod lesson and have them go through that lesson for extra support. For student pace. Okay, I just talked about this. Why student pace lessons are good. Okay, to create a Nearpod lesson from scratch. I would not do it from scratch my first time. Use a template your first time. If you want to create it from scratch, you're going to log into Nearpod, start a lesson. It's going to say add slide. And you can just like you do with a regular PowerPoint, make your slideshow. You can also drag and drop pictures. You can upload a PowerPoint. Let's say you already made a PowerPoint that you like. Upload a PowerPoint directly into it. If you have a picture, like a drawing that you want to use, you can upload a picture as well. You can upload a PDF. You found a PDF that you like, and it's going to automatically upload it to your Nearpod list. Classroom management, I touched on this. All your students will be down here if you need to see if they're in there or not. Okay. So bell ringers, exit tickets. I'm not one to teach a whole lot. I'll teach for like 10 minutes max. And then have my kids get really hands-on. With math, you kind of need to guide them a little bit more. So just as an introduction, I would do Nearpod, especially as a bell ringer exit ticket. Student pace lessons as homework. Once we come back, if you transition to high school or if you have like 8th grade students, once you want to flip your classroom, if you want to give them homework, Nearpod is a great tool to give for homework. Just so they can have content. And then when they come, if you trust them, if once they come back to class, it's practice. Okay, I learned that when I was doing teaching math. I had to teach so much content, and I'm like, I just wish you could learn the basics at home, and then we practice in class. This is a great way to do that. Let's pray in the future they'll let the kids take home the Chromebooks permanently. I know Bruley and them, they do that. They let the kids take home Chromebooks. And that's at McKinley Middle, when they first got Chromebooks, my cousin, she was like, I don't know what to do. I'm learning this stuff for the first time. And I'm like, why are you teaching doing this? This is when I was still in high school. And I realized it's because her teacher wanted her to be introduced to those concepts at home. And then that way, when they come in, they can ask questions, and you don't have to spend class time on introducing lessons.
This, another thing, when I was doing my lesson this summer, I would go to the Nearpod, and then in my Google Classroom, I would upload the one thing to watch prior to the lesson. So I guess you can do it that way too. And they'll have to review the video before they came to me that morning, so they'll have some understanding of what we're gonna be discussing during that day. So I won't have to waste so much time with that
That's perfect. That's perfect. Because, yeah, it's math. You spend a lot of time introducing concepts. And you need that time for practice. I'm going to skip the ELA part and go straight to the math. So you can see some examples. So this is called Effect Interactive Solutions. Nearpod has this built in. I don't know how to do this, but you should I don't know area model like that. I'm sorry, Ms. Washington. But you should be able to draw and interact with this math problem.
Where did you get that from?
It's called PhET Interactive Solutions. So when you're building your Nearpod lesson,
Right? FACT?
no, PhET, P-H-E-T. I don't know what I'm saying.
Simplified on the screen to you, right?
Okay, I see it
So
now.
you can go in the library and search for that.
I'm gonna show you how
Okay.
how to build it. No, when you build your slideshow, you remember how I said you could upload pictures and stuff?
Mhm.
There's a icon called PhET, and you can just search for interactive presentation and push that in like you would do a video or a picture. So y'all should be able to type on your end into this draw. You want to type it?
I just want to know how to get to it.
I'm trying to
Kids
go
can, they can
inside.
just type anything, I'm just like.
Yeah, I go in there to type something on it. I mean, click the box.
Click on the number. Click on the box and then the number's gonna come up.
Click on one number. Oh, I like click on.
I don't know.
It's
Sorry.
more algebraic than,
It's not doing it. I don't know. I'm not gonna hold it in the next day. We're gonna learn it later.
Okay.
Because it's not letting me write on it.
Can everybody else write on it?
Mhm.
And then the other
Oh,
one,
this is empty box?
yeah, they clear their little Wi-Fi.
Oh, on the right box on the side?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, see, I was clicking on the wrong.
You should
thing.
be click on that too.
Yeah, okay, yeah, now.
And that's where you want to write. So you click on it.
Okay, you could put it in, okay.
it's too bad.
I don't know.
I want to ask you a question though. I was working in Nearpod and I was trying to use that text tool. You know, you got the one you can draw with or write with. I was trying to use the text tool. Now, I typed in the text that I wanted to put in the lesson or whatever, but it didn't show all of the text. Was it because I did not expand? Because when I went back and expanded the text box, it still didn't show the whole text that I put in there. Because I was trying to show my kids an example of what I would do for that lesson. Like if I was working on a problem and I was trying to give them an answer to an open-ended question. And I was typing in the answer. But when I got ready to look at it, after I took the text box down, it didn't have all the text in there. So what did I do wrong?
When Nearpod, the text is limited in Nearpod. How long it is. I'm gonna show PearDeck is easier. I'm gonna show you PearDeck after this. Okay, you can also draw. So if I went on. So if I want you to, based on the category, describe the sides and angles in each type of quadrilateral. I want you to draw quadrilaterals, and I want you to add in the arrows for the. I do remember that from geometry. I want you to add in the little things for the angles, or the parallel lines. Mark the parallel lines. You can draw it as well. I'm gonna just go on, but y'all see how that works, right? Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna skip social studies and go to the end. Does anybody have experience with Microsoft Word? Okay, it's like a PowerPoint. It's like a PowerPoint, but I'm not gonna go through it because but you can also add in. So Microsoft Word, it's like crazy where you stack PowerPoint. It's a pretty PowerPoint. That's all it is. So you can embed that into Nearpod as well as also web content. So this is an example of a Google Doc that's created in my Google Drive. All I have to do is put this in Nearpod. You all automatically have access. So I don't have to put it as a link in Google Classroom. You can just automatically should be able to type into this document, okay, at the same time. If you want to try it. So in docs.google.com, the regular Google.
It's a regular.
Yeah. And it's embedded in
You gotta copy that thing, cause you'll copy,
It's coming all the way over here.
Over here. So you probably have to make a copy on the file.
Oh, yeah, but she said you just.
You should be able to
type it.
just type it to.
Yeah, but his stuff is coming on mine.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah, it's a collaborative document.
So, okay, if our kids wanted to do something together in a group, that's what it's for.
Yes.
All right.
So if I start typing,
You should see your name as you're typing.
so mine is running into here.
I know, you have to have
Oh,
a classroom that people. So yeah, what you have to do is make sure you are not typing where somebody else is typing. If you have a collaborative document. So Ms. Washington is right, if your kids are like y'all,
They gonna be like that. They might be better than I am. I can say. They might know to do it.
and you know that they're not gonna pay attention with where their cursor is, then you might want to tell them make a copy. But if you have kids and you want them to collaborate on one document, this is how you do it. Now, this cursor, pink, I know that that's Mr. Locke. You see?
Right.
He's
So
pink in the
maybe you
circle.
can say when Mr. Lockett gets put on there, you.
Right.
Okay.
Or if I say, Mr. Lockett, I want you to do connect. Ms. Washington, I want you to do extend.
Okay.
You do different parts.
And then you can assign your kids in a group to do certain parts of it.
Right. And like with chalking. So I really like this activity if I'm reading, if I'm doing, if you want to do like different parts. So I say, Ms. Washington, you do the multiplication part, you do the division, you do the subtraction. And then you can all present on the same document what you did instead of it being multiple documents. But for that to happen, your class has to be like, they have to have practice. Because I tried to do this with my special ed class one time, where they all worked on the same thing. It was horrible. So it takes practice. We already did the drawing. Okay. Talked about fit. All right. So at the end of the lesson, when I end my lesson, it's going to give me a report, okay, about what happened in that lesson, what each student did. And it can be downloaded into a PDF or a common separated value file, which is Excel sheet about what happened with our student participation. Your library. Yes, ma'am.
That screen you just left.
This one.
Can you put a picture of?
If you want.
I'm trying to about the data, can you download it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is not gonna be shared.
Actually, I found it. Remember? I told you at the beginning. So if you go into the district library and search how to use Nearpod, it's complicated. I did not make this job. I'm lazy. Or like it's by Sahara Haynes. She made it.
Okay.
So you can search her name. For Nearpod lesson. And that's where I got it from the library. Okay, so if you once you log into Nearpod, you can search district library, school library is everything people made through the school, or Nearpod library is everything in Nearpod, period. And just search stuff and it'll pop up. You can also search by like math, social studies, stuff like
once
that.
you search it, you hit in my library, that's how you do it.
You can open it up and make a copy.
Share it in mine.
Mm-hmm. So let me go to show you how it looks. This is what the district wants. 2 Nearpod certified educators at each school site. Don't worry about all that because they ain't following up on it.
They want the teachers to use it at least once or twice a week. I would.
They do.
If they have the lessons, I'll probably use.
They
do.
Yeah, that thing.
I uploaded.
Well, you could always preview the lesson to see it.
Yeah.
That's something.
Right. So that's gonna be part.
But they have our Eureka lessons in there. I uploaded mine already.
That's
first.
If you go to district.
Because they came directly from the Eureka book
Okay.
that they would have
Have
already.
you reviewed it?
Anyway,
To
the only
see?
thing they don't have on there is like, they got the executive, but they don't have like a problem set So you would have to go and put them in there for, you put in your Google Classroom or either assign them homework on, you know, you have to upload it from your probably your group.
And that's it.
Teacher edition.
If you click edit, one of your, and see, all I can do is I can upload a file here if I want to upload pictures. But if I click add slide, so that's the fit simulation, I can add in another slideshow, I can add in a video, web content, okay, 3D.
You mean you add that in your Nearpod lesson that you presented or something?
Mhm.
So if I wanted to add in that, homework or something, like I said, they don't have the problem set problems. So I could say add,
Slide.
I add a slide and I go to where it's in our, Mr. Spark saved it in our drive, like our Google Drive.
Mhm.
So then I will go to the Google Drive and find that particular sheet and just
Add
hit
it
it.
in there.
Okay.
If not there, what you would do is everything you make in your Google Drive has a link to it. So you will add in web content. Mhm. And then you type in the URL that link to that problem set right here.
You cut and paste.
Okay. That's what I was doing.
It's real advanced for me. I'm not that sophisticated. I'm just a beginner, novice learner. When you talk about all of those advanced topics, I get overwhelmed. So I'm trying to stay up with
But you know, there's a lot of,
you. I've learned a little bit at a time. And I go to YouTube, what you call it?
YouTube
again?
University.
YouTube University.
You can learn, somebody learned how to deliver their own baby on YouTube. She did. She wound up giving birth in France, and she went on YouTube to figure out how to give birth to her own baby. And she gave birth to her baby.
Ooh, I can't do
Yeah,
that.
she
You know you can't do it like
Somebody, I can't do that.
That's a true black lady. She gave birth to her baby. And she tied off the umbilical cord with her shoestring because she saw that on YouTube. And she delivered a healthy baby in the bathroom of the airport. She went on YouTube.
They got it all.
I go to YouTube University for
But that's what I would need help with for my first lesson. Once I can do it the first time, is how to upload those, that homework. I want to show you just first. And once I do it one time, I
I'm
got
talking about that.
I just need to know how to do it first time.
So take technology.
the district line.
They got it.
That's where you.
I'll go to this library
Where
and
you
you gonna look for your mom.
Yeah.
Your mom, gonna have a mom and the topic and the lesson. And you just go and say, show me
I'm
my
sorry,
library.
I got a lot.
And you put it up. And put it in
See,
your library.
school, district
There
library.
you go.
You click district library.
And find.
I want to
Everything
search.
Sixth grade model. One. Thank you.
This Wi-Fi, so I don't know how we all gonna be on here at the same time.
That's what I'm talking about. Those days.
Yeah.
If you don't know, well, everybody's not gonna be working.
And I click add to my library.
See, there you go. See, there you go.
And so now, once I go to my library, it's there. And then I can edit it. If I don't like something, I can just click edit and then you can add in the problem set or whatever. And then once I finish, I click save and exit.
I would need to hit edit.
Mhm.
And then I think it's my word or something.
So you can add slides.
Yeah, you need to save it. Nearpod, you have to click save and exit.
Okay, so you can add slides and you can delete slides.
Mhm.
I clicked on that edit one time this summer, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I just left it alone.
What I did, if I wanted to edit or didn't want to show a slide, I do like you did. I just bypassed this slide.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's,
I do, see, I right click it.
Uh-huh.
I right click delete. I'm gonna delete the slide. And then delete
okay.
it.
So President say
Save
at the bottom, okay.
You save the next one.
at the bottom right. So let me go back. They've been in.
Oh, okay.
So what do you want to share that to your students?
Oh, once I finish?
Uh-huh.
Oh, then it's gonna be in your
It's
library.
already there.
It's already there. So you know that it's your copy when your name is at the top. See at the top, it say Eureka Math Models Tyler Colson. Because my name is on there.
I mean, but only if you edit it, it's gonna put your name up there.
Yeah, it's gonna put
If
your
you
name.
don't edit it,
Okay.
then it's gonna stay where the name is.
So the students can look at it at the same time I'm looking at it. When I open, it, like you're looking at yours.
No.
The
The only time the students can do it is if you do live on student page and you send it to them. That's the only time. This is all me editing this. Like this, using Nearpod PfM. I didn't make this to her, Haney made this. But when I made a copy of it, put it in my library and I edited it, then it's mine. It's not hers anymore.
The only time that you can do it live when it's under your name.
Right. Well, no, I think
It's in
it
your library.
if Sahara made this lesson and I like it perfectly, I can just add it straight to my library
And then do that.
and do live. But I always would make a copy because if let's say I like her stuff, I kept it in my library. If she go home tomorrow and delete it, I'll just go. So make a copy. You always want to duplicate or edit it under your name. Yeah.
So how do you know
You
it
know, it's stuff from the district, but I don't get theirs. They might not change.
They might know. The district probably not gonna do it.
So to duplicate it, you just add it to your library.
You add it to your library, and then what you can do, you see these 3 dots,
Uh-huh.
and it's gonna, especially if I have like a ESS class that's not maybe the best. I can have 2 versions of the same lesson and take some stuff out, or if I have a magnet class, add some stuff in. It's to change it. So I should say magnet.
That was one of the things we talked about. We were talking about, I want to see what the complexity was. You
Uh-huh.
can make one lesson less complex by removing some of the items.
Uh-huh.
And you can make another one more.
So you would just
complex.
call it magnet, class, or you might call it your 1A, your 1B.
Yeah.
So you will know that the 1A class have the class that are probably inclusion kids and the other one, if that be the case.
How did you do that?
I just went to the top and just clicked it
So,
and changed the name. And then I'm gonna click save and exit.
Automatically, it's gonna put your name up there.
Go back to those 3 dots a minute. Where are they?
If I put my cursor over the list, it's 3 dots.
and so when that lesson comes up, you can go change the title, you see.
Uh-huh. And then I could click report if I want to see what happened in that lesson. Like when we said to see what was going on with class expert earlier, I can click reports and see. I can also share with a teacher. I teach a 6th grade math, Ms. Washington teaches 6th grade math. I want her to see this lesson and maybe edit it because she knows more about math than I do. I can share this directly with her by giving her that link. So if I trust her to change something, I'll send her the editable link. If I don't trust her, I can send her the preview only link. Okay? I can email it to her. And Nearpod?
Yeah. Okay. Like a bunch of them.
I would do one lesson at a time to start off with.
Hard meal.
You should be able to set a folder.
Okay.
I've never done it before, but you should be able to set a folder. All right. Any last questions about Nearpod before what time is it?
Almost.
Oh yeah, we got time. Okay. All right. Any questions about Nearpod before we move on to PearDeck? All right. So PearDeck. PearDeck is my favorite. Okay. PearDeck is an extension of Google Slides.
Oh, I'm trying to see
PearDeck.
what- okay.
This is an extension of Google Slides. So when I do PearDeck, the reason I like PearDeck over Nearpod is I can change it as the lesson is going on. So if I have a slideshow that I built in Google Slides, okay, I'm just going to click add-ons in Google Slides. You're not there yet. I'm just showing you how it's gonna look.
So Ms. Coates, this is.
Hey, no,
Presentation on Google Slides. I know.
Yes, okay, you got. Word. Google Slides is the same thing as Microsoft Slides. PowerPoint is Slides.
You don't know that either.
I don't, it,
I know what
maybe
you're
been so
talking
long
about.
ago, so it's not regular, you would have to refresh
It's
everything.
in, so Slides, once you go to your drive, you click New, Google Slides.
Okay.
So y'all know how to get to your Google Drive.
Right.
You click New,
Uh-huh. And then
Google Slides, to create a slideshow. And then it'll open up a slideshow. Now, once you build your slideshow, okay, to get to PearDeck, it is an extension, it's an add-on. So, let me not say extension, add-on. So you click add-ons. You're gonna click, for the first time, if you've never used PearDeck before, you're gonna click get add-ons. And then you just search. Remember how we downloaded a while back the Candy extension? Stuff like that, it's the same thing.
So this is in the store.
This is in the G Suite Market, it's two different stores.
Oh, okay.
This is the G Suite Marketplace.
Okay.
So,
Not Chrome
we do it
Web.
right now?
no, not, yeah, you can do that
We
right
can
now.
do it?
So what do we do? Go to the.
So open up slides.google.com or go to Google Slides through your drive, however you want to get to it.
The way you say it first.
Slides.google.com
Or go to the track.
or go to the drive. To get, to get paired, you gotta open Google Slides first. It's not in the Chrome web store.
Because mine, today's my first day that I actually have access, and it tells me that PearDeck for Google Slides and PearDeck for Active Classrooms are already installed.
Oh, dang, they must have bought it. Y'all have that too?
What's
Because
this?
I didn't even have an email until today. And so I go to the store and it says installed for both PearDeck for Google Slides and PearDeck for Active Classrooms.
Oh, they must have bought it. They must have bought it.
So you should all have it too,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, it does say PearDeck for Google Slides add-on. When you click on add-on, it comes up.
Oh, just click on slide.
So now we can just click on PearDeck.
Google Drive. That's the part I always have trouble. How to get to Google Drive?
Go through the little waffle. The little waffle stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's what that's good.
Oh, you got it. Y'all got it.
Yeah.
See, PearDeck.
Oh,
PearDeck.
All
All
right.
right.
Click on it
Yeah, you can click on it. Uh-huh.
We'll just drive out.
and open.
I'm gonna go to bed. Got a lot of people.
That's how you got it? You went through it?
It said, it says, found, so what do we put, allow?
There's no way to get to PearDeck.
So now I'm into what she did.
Yeah.
Cause my.
Now you need to make one deal.
Huh?
Yeah, in my drive, when I click on new, I can create a new PearDeck.
Yeah.
I can create a new Nearpod or Soundboard.
Oh,
So now when I'm in it, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's how you get it. Now I'm gonna have you join me as student. Okay? All right. Yeah, it's a lot. So I'm a teacher. This is how you get to it as a teacher. I'm a teacher, so I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. Thank you. I did not know that this should purchase it. Okay. I'm gonna open my PearDeck add-on. I'm going to start my lesson. No,
Oh,
because I'm this as a teacher. Y'all gonna join me as a student. So I could do student page or teacher page, just like with Nearpod. I'm gonna do teacher-paced activity.
You can't do live.
But if we were doing it
Yeah.
for our kids, we
But it
could
wouldn't say
start
pace, it
lessons.
wouldn't say live.
No, it was instructor-paced. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I get so anxious, I'm just.
Mhm.
No,
If,
you're not.
if I, in my class, if I wanted to do this for my students, and I would actually click like you did on start lesson.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you as students are going to go to joinpd.com, joinpd.com.
We
No,
can go
you
through
type
Google
that
like
in.
we, Clever.
Oh,
No,
Oh.
just joinpd.com.
open up a new tab?
Open up a new tab.
So just in general, PearDeck and Nearpod, it's kind of like you have a choice as to how you're gonna do your lesson. Can you kind of just give me a little bit on the pros and cons of each as to why we would choose one over the other? Obviously, like with math, we got all our district lessons already done in Nearpod, we use Nearpod for that.
Yeah.
But for other stuff, what's the big advantage to using PearDeck as opposed to using Nearpod?
The
Well,
biggest,
one thing she said was that you could change it
that's the biggest thing. You can change it in real time,
on the spot.
on the spot. And I probably would do it. Like I said, y'all stuff is already built in. There's nothing, I would have bought it and coding. There's nothing built in for in Nearpod for me. Also with PearDeck, because I added in directly from my Google Slide, I have cute slideshows that I can't really be too cute in Nearpod. You know what I'm saying? I like pretty stuff. So with Google Slides, I can make rocket ships and all that, and then just add in PearDeck to my slideshow. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Nearpod is pretty plain. You probably don't care about being cute in Nearpod.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
You
your
know what I'm saying?
creative, this is kind of your creative space.
Yeah, this is more creative. PearDeck allows you to be more creative. So once you
I was just
The
trying to.
equation, but I gotta have an
I'm like,
equation.
I'm like,
You
that's
use it
because it's already, I wanna
Maybe
reinvent the
second
wheel.
semester.
yeah, if once we do our PBLs and stuff, like if you want to be cute, do PearDeck. And I'm gonna show you how it's gonna how we can edit it like as the lesson is going on. All right, so go to joinpd.com. I see 6 students are connected. I can give you a link directly, but I love the fact that it has this right here. Because what students gonna do is they're gonna type in an I. So it says King Viola's Little Juicy Highlighters, just so they know
That's a L.
that's an L. That's my favorite thing about it. I love that. So I see 6 students are connected. I'm gonna start my class, and my code will always be here in the right hand corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and start.
Do I do it as a teacher or?
You're in as a student if you want to join pd.com.
That's where the, how you feeling today?
Yeah.
So we need to say that.
Oh, yeah.
And as I'm waiting on the other students to join in, it will ask you that. How are you feeling? Just to distract you so you won't be sitting there looking forward. So what is your experience with PearDeck? I can show the responses. Okay. I see that Miss Umali is not paying attention, so I'm gonna lock all y'all screens. You can't do nothing.
It's your mom.
And first, and
How did you lock the screen?
right here.
Wait, I
You know
can't
she
see
wasn't
it.
paying attention.
Because I see her, and I just see her mess around talking.
Do
to
it
the
again.
students.
Oh, okay, you just.
Oh, at the
Yeah.
bottom.
See?
So that's your
Lock
attention
screen.
getter for
Lock
everybody.
screen. Sorry, y'all, this is my brother.
All right,
Thank
well,
you.
you.
Thank you. Are you for me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Brother, you better cherish your brother. Now, come on.
Good boy.
And then night.
It was just 10. It was just half of one.
Yeah, they didn't have enough. It was supposed to be another one.
It's supposed to be the other half.
That's why I said, "What is this?" I didn't know.
All right.
Has to be creative.
Okay, so
Why isn't this open with the students?
y'all students, so I like to explain. I'm not I like y'all screen. All right. So I see y'all. There's 5 people responded.
Wait.
Okay, wait.
It don't tell me to submit it, so
It's automatically submitted.
Mm.
So So I'm just gonna, this is not on
This one's been around.
a while. Nobody. The district can push PearDeck because they bought Nearpod. It is super important to get your students engaged with content, so you should be able to drag your dot. I see y'all moving your dots in real time. See?
They can drag the dot to agree or disagree
Uh-huh.
with the answer. You asking them a question, in other words.
Oh.
On you who hasn't done it.
Yeah, because you haven't done it.
Well, I see y'all moving.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
So that outside means wait on one student, huh?
But y'all moving.
So you don't know everybody in there because
It says
it's telling you how many people, and that's what you're looking for. But what if the dots all on top of each other, how you gonna count? So you just,
Yeah,
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Was it 7 or 7 I see that participate?
Who's our one,
Another question. You got your smartboard and your laptop. That's how we should have it set up in our class. Two devices.
Yeah, I
Two devices.
did that. You don't have to. I did that simply because I don't like the touch screen stuff. I like it on my computer.
Okay.
So, and I don't like being attached to my board. You know.
So if I got that Elmo in my room, I could still hook it up with the Elmo and this, because it just make it bigger for the kids to see. Is that why you have it on
Yeah,
there?
that's why I like it. And I didn't want to log into this board. It's not my board. That's my computer. So.
So I could use a separate Chromebook and just keep it up to that, but then have another Chromebook. You gave me a name.
That's Chromebook.
Yeah, this the Chromebook, but they say you can't do it from your desktop. That's the school Chromebook.
No, you can't get some school Chromebook. I'm gonna have to like.
Oh, so I would have to do it from the board.
Yeah, because you have to see this cord.
But they say what technology I need a laptop.
Yeah, this cord, they don't have that on there. It has it on mine.
Well, that's what we were saying yesterday, we don't know what technology we use.
So we need this. They need to get us one of those. The teachers one of those, maybe.
But there's a way to CAD. I can show you that later. The CAD from a Chromebook to be.
Some sort of a.
It's an extension.
Okay.
I can show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this one. All right, so let's say I'm in the middle of my lesson and y'all looking lost. Y'all looking real lost. And I said, do you understand what you're gonna get? Are the kids gonna tell you they don't understand?
They're gonna sit there quiet.
So I'm gonna add in a new prompt as my lesson is going on. And I'm gonna click this drag your dot to describe how you are feeling. It's gonna automatically put that in during my lesson.
So where did I see it? I don't see it on mine. It just haven't come up yet.
Yeah, maybe
I see that, but how did you get that screen to come up during your lesson? That screen.
Last thing.
I click new prompt.
Thank you.
New prompt. And I'm in the middle.
Standard prompts there, and can you make your own prompts too?
You can make your own, but not during the like.
I know, but like in advance, I can make one of these.
Yeah.
So now go back and let me see it come up so I can drag my dot.
Oh,
That's showing up on my screen.
yeah. It may not have shut. Y'all, the Wi-Fi has horrible. There you go. Please.
I'm a little confused.
So y'all confused. So I know I need to slow down.
Exactly. That's what I needed the other day to put on somebody. Can students make up their own to tell the teacher? Or we have to wait for you to ask us? But see, in that meeting when I had that PD, I could have told her, "Baby, I'm confused, I need her to see it," but you wasn't looking at the chat box. But I can put up one of these to tell you that I'm confused. Oh, that's what they do. You get rich on that.
Well, you know, you can't raise your hand.
Well, yeah, but she don't have that on
Still,
there.
they're not watching the screen.
That's why. So my birthday. I turned 30 on
Glad
So after my birthday, I got another monitor at home in my office so I can see the chat box and I can have another computer that's looking at me.
Screen, show you how to.
If you're an ed tech person, you have to have 2 monitors or 2 screens. But, you know, not everybody has that.
Yeah, that's what I figured that out. Now, I had both of these things, but I only used it once toward the end. And I said, oh, see, I could, with the Nearpod, you know how they have the teacher view and the student view? Instead of clicking on that or going on my phone, I just set up the Chromebook with it. Now, I can do 3. If I get real advanced, I don't know what the purpose of it would be, but I could do it.
I just have 2.
2 is good. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna skip. Graph.
Like it is.
I'll grab that. See if you can graph it.
Oh, yeah.
So y'all math people. You can just draw your dot. I'm not checking for accuracy. And I'm gonna look at your responses. Somebody put black. You can change your color as well at the bottom.
How do you do
Put black too. So was everybody putting black?
Yeah, somebody else get green or blue.
Oh.
So how you gonna, do you have to tell us what color to use?
it?
Go on and touch it. Okay, well, I'm gonna use blue, but mine, she can't really see it.
Well, I know if I tell Miss Harris to use blue and her dot way down here, she can get it wrong. So I need to.
Yeah, that's why you need to assign us a dot.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you use green, use blue, use purple.
Yeah, it's all on the same graph, so
Yeah.
that's hard to distinguish.
Unless they color code. And if you got 20-some kids in the class, that's gonna be hard. Oh, you show an individual group. There you go now, that's better. So does that mean that, cause I see a brown and a red, so is that 2 students?
No, that's one person did that.
Yeah, twice,
Did it twice.
and I did the purple with the black.
That's mine right there with that blue, whatever that is. No, that ain't mine. Mine had 5 and up.
It should be erased at the bottom.
You
You
can
can
do the
Oh, it's in PearDeck.
This represents her.
You can change the coordinates and stuff
Yeah.
Okay, how would you change?
when you click, when you edit it, when you open your template. You can. I'm gonna go up there for this one.
Okay.
Cause it's hard to explain.
So the reason why, go back to that graph, go back to that green, cause see, the kids are the same. Right? We know that's the origin. This is the origin, right? So this is the origin, and it seems like the multiples of 5, so this would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 would be over here. It is, this is not correct.
That ain't correct, y'all
Because
wrong.
7 is not a multiple, a factor of 5.
I was starting my mind.
It is all.
So 5, 10.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't read stuff like it.
No, but I did count. I counted.
That's what they gave us, so sticky close to it.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
I figured it out.
And you think them children would say,
My
okay, 30 is
I
not
know
on the right place.
Well, I don't have mad kids. The mine do just like that. They'll look at me and they'll count, and they'll go 5, that's 5. They'll put that over there, go up 3. So they'll be right. All right, be sophisticated.
You can draw lines. Now, when I did robotics, I put in pictures and I say match the words to the robot part. So yeah, you can definitely draw your lines if you want to. When I was doing this yesterday, I was like, oh, let me draw a red line to roll. I'm gonna draw an orange line to now, I'm gonna do.
Okay, now I know red is roll. Okay.
Red is purple.
So that's Spanish or something? Well, I need that for my first hour class. The Spanish version. But yeah, but it's okay if it's not math, it's helping me.
But yeah, you can use the drawing,
Wow, huh?
Yeah, when I do my words.
and, let's see, let's say I'm at the end of my lesson, Mr. Sparks just walked in, again, oops, I don't have an exit ticket.
I'm telling you, if I see it's boring, you gonna have to shut it on.
Don't come here with your talking about this morning. Say, hey, Mrs. Park, good morning. We having a perfect day. You're not the teacher today, Mrs. Park. Thank you, Miss And he's going with his sport and jersey this fall.
You heard, I'm an A.
We're trying.
Come
We're
on,
having
Miss
a
Coach,
good
you're
day,
doing a
Mr.
beautiful
Scott.
job.
We got 1 minute, y'all.
Yes, sir.
So,
We're learning the new stuff.
It's the end of my lesson.
Go ahead,
I can't finish because it's the end. I don't have an exit ticket because I was being lazy today. So I'm gonna just click in, reflect on today's activities, and I added that in last minute.
And we should be able to write or type.
One more time. You click on,
You
to
got
get to
the
that
kids,
screen.
don't
New
prompt.
New
New
prompt.
prompt. I love
But you already had those prompts.
I love it. I love it.
They're already in it. You don't have to create these. They're already in it.
They're already there.
It's bad, you run outside here.
No. Love it, Miss
The
Coach.
thing
I'm
is
just
not
early.
good.
I see what you're saying about this. Yes, sir. We're loving it too.
Yeah. So I'm done. I'm gonna just click in. And then if I wanted to see y'all responses later, because I want to check, just add in something, save and end the session. It's all right, Mr. Love.
In the session.
Right.
So should we do that on each session?
You don't have, unless you want to keep the, if you want to keep the responses, then yes.
Okay.
But if you don't care about keeping the responses, don't do that.
All right.
Now remember, you can always build on top of a lesson you already have. So this is a slide deck that I already have in my Google Slides, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just add in, once the Wi-Fi comes up, tools, add-ons, open PearDeck add-ons. Remember, this is not a slideshow that it's a PearDeck. I'm gonna just add on to it. And I can choose to add in, let's see. I'm gonna go to the template library. I'm gonna do the beginning of lesson. I'm gonna just click it and it's gonna automatically add into my slideshow that I already have.
That was a little fast, but that's okay.
This is template library.
Okay, good.
You already know. These early people are picking it up.
Thank you, Miss Cole.
That's why I say, why you go, girl?